What's up, my doom scrolling friends? We are now going over an optimized Cataclysm build, but to be honest, this might be a little bit worse than the one before. The main reason is not only does it deal damage, it also has an inbound 25% chance to instantly kill enemies. And for that reason, the fights are taking a lot longer and are a lot riskier. I'll show you the build in the planner. So this time it's Sorcerer again. Still, maybe I come back to this one and use Mime instead. Purge, which is called Shrug Off to get rid of debuffs. However, this one works kinda underwhelming and can be replaced with something that has more utility. So Trap in a Box to help Incarnation to trigger, so these Cataclysm cast spells even more often. In this case, it's the Blizzard 1 best kind of weather, so they would all cast some Snowstorm. Eternal Echo, of course, to cast additional spells, and of course Temporal Concentration to have infinite charges. So one of the main ideas for this build was to chip out more and more turns, but in the end I figured the game has very little options to offer to do so. Still, I like the idea of Stomp and Shake together with Spin the Wheel quite a lot, because the 35% chance to interrupt enemies is increased to something like 45 or 49%ish. Also for this one, I'm not really utilizing Spectrum of Eternity because I want to make sure defending will spellcast the blizzards. Yet in the future we will certainly come back to traits like Dusty Struggle and Nerlik's Veil. Now let's go over the artifacts. For this one, of course, a ton of intelligence bonuses. So now I have decided to use Dark Thoughts in all of the spell slots because everyone will gain intelligence bonuses and is also afflicted with Scorn. So a tiny little penalty, but in the end it does nothing at all. Also defensive in the trick slot to help, of course, with more spell casting via Incarnation. So for the Nether Stones, nothing too crazy. Of course, a lot of intelligence bonuses. This one has Empowered Savage Spores and a lot of debuffs on damage. This was actually one of the main ideas. However, finding the correct stones with the correct debuffs on damage wasn't the greatest search. And the last one has a pretty significant spell potency bonus, 302%. So this one is capable of doing fights on difficulty 5, but because we are not using Mega Tsunami anymore, fights are taking ages, so let's not fuck around and go to the gates. I got some wins, but these were kinda wonky, so let's play it rather safe and get some impressions of this one. I can pretty much always defend, get the bonuses from Dark Thoughts, and pretty much hope for the scaling. Okay, pretty nice. I was also using Acid Rain in the spell slots before. However, because enemies will have a minimum of a defense value, I figured after all, Dark Thoughts might be the better play. I think perdition wasn't so easy. Okay. Let's try Zonti, which is usually not so easy. For this one, there is a chance that the relic will eventually chip out the win. I've been in this situation with only the Twister staying alive, gaining a lot of maximum health. Might take a moment. Lost quite a bit of health recently. Okay, so far to this. For the most part, I'm not really like tripping out the win with relic plays is usually not great for me. Like, I want the build itself to win, but however, I wasn't kind of expecting those clear wins at the gates. Was more expecting like more or less wonky fights. Yeah, but it's okay, I guess. Now, to be honest, the next 2 or 3 builds or videos might be a little bit lame. Certainly somewhat cheesy or creative, but they might take a moment to bring home the win. However, I've already built up a crazy idea with some wasp pits, and potentially this one might be one of my absolute favorites. So yeah. Now this weekend I will also upload an almost 2 hours long video for Halls of Torment with some more or less crazy shenanigans. And it might be only part 1 of maybe 2, maybe 3. We'll see. So thanks for watching, I'm out, see you in the future.